Hello everyone, welcome back to Cage's Coaster Reviews. Today I will be counting down my top 8 favorite roller coasters at Valleyfair. This park is located in Shakopee, Minnesota, right next to Mall of America, which has Nickelodeon Universe. So if you're in the general area around Minnesota, it's definitely worth the trip up. I think there's like 13 credits total, and Valleyfair as a park is a pretty decent park. There's really nothing too special about it, but it does have a decent lineup, which, speaking of that, let's get into it right now. Number 8, we have Cosmic Coaster. This is a kiddie coaster. There's kiddie coasters at almost every major theme park you visit. Nothing much to say about it. Number 7, we have Mad Mouse. This is a Aero Wild Mouse. It's actually probably one of the smoothest wild mouses I've ridden, but other than that, there's nothing too unique about it, just the average wild mouse. Number 6, we have Corkscrew. Um, this is an aerodynamics corkscrew model. There's one just like it at Cedar Point. This is actually a lot smoother than Cedar Point, though. There's hardly any head banging. The corkscrew is the roughest part, but other than that, it's a pretty fun ride. Number 5, we have the Out and Back Wood Coaster, High Roller. This is actually the first roller coaster, the oldest coaster at the park. I believe it's well over 50 years old, probably like 53 or something like that, 52 or 53. Um, this is kind of a sluggish coaster. You really don't get much airtime. But it's still pretty fun. And you gotta consider the fact it was built in like the 1960s, so not a bad ride. Number 4, we have Steel Venom. This is an Intamin Impulse coaster. This is my third Intamin Impulse, and this is very similar to Vertical Velocity at Great America, Six Flags Great America. Except it does stall you at the last time going into that vertical spike. The brakes stall you and you just jam into your restraints, and it's pretty painful. I wasn't expecting that. I know some models have that, but I did not think this one had coming in. I did not think this one did that to you. But other than that, it's a pretty fun ride. The launch is great, pretty forceful launch, and you get some good hang time too. I recommend the front row actually. The front row is my favorite. Number 3, we have Excalibur. This is a aerodynamics hybrid coaster. The only other one like it is Gemini at Cedar Point, and I think this is a lot better than Gemini. It's a lot more thrilling. It's a short and sweet ride, definitely short and sweet. Yeah, that's just basically the main complaint is it's pretty short, but it's a very intense, forceful ride. A lot of banked turns and a lot of positive G's. It is a little rough, but I don't mind rough rides at all. This is just a really fun ride. It's definitely the hidden gem of the park. It's located in the very back of the park, and it's actually very kind of hard to get to. If you don't know your way around the park, you might have a little trouble getting to this. And it's basically going to have a walk-on the whole day, so no lines is always fun. And yeah, this is a pretty good ride. I like it. Number 2, we have the Morgan Hyper Coaster Wild Thing. This is my first Morgan Hyper, and comparing it to probably the closest ride I've been on is Magnum. Honestly, I don't remember Magnum too well. I'll be riding it again this next month, but I think I like this better. The drop is pretty great, especially in the back row, but I do prefer the front row. I'm usually front row biased. I always prefer the front row on most coasters. The first airtime hill, you get very good floater airtime. It's probably some of the best floater airtime ever, but that's basically all the airtime you're gonna get. The turnaround's pretty unique. It's kind of a cool turnaround. Um, it does kind of meander a little bit. Not really sure that turnaround's kind of weird, but it's okay. And on the backside, on the return half, the second half, you get some decent airtime. It's just a bunch of little airtime hills, and then there is a tunnel, which is really cool. There's a head chopper element in the tunnel. Um, but yeah, my main complaint about these hyper coasters, especially the B&M ones, is just they're a little too sluggish, and they rely heavily on airtime, which I think you should try to do a little more than just airtime. But overall, it's still a decent ride. Okay, coming in at my number one spot, we have Renegade. Now, first of all, I'd like to say that I think GCIs are a little overrated. Okay, I don't think they're as good as a lot of people say they are. However, I found this one to be a very good ride. Um, I've actually ridden 4 GCIs. This is gonna be my second favorite, only behind Mystic Timbers. I like the S curve drop a lot better than the normal just curved drop that GCI usually has. Um, but this ride is very fast paced. A lot of good laterals, a lot of good transitions, very good airtime. Front row is definitely the best, and I'm not just saying that because I like front row on almost all coasters. You do get just as good airtime in the front row than you do in the back row, and it's all ejector too. And it's just a very good ride. Station flyby too, and it's a long ride. A lot. This is a very good ride. Probably it's close between this and Wild Thing, but this definitely is better for me. So, yeah. Okay, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thank you all for watching. Comment down below what your favorite ride is here. And we'll see you next week for the next episode of Cage's Coaster Reviews.